You may be seated. The defendant will stand for sentence. I've listened very intently to everything that has been presented to the court.
Here we go. The moment everyone in this courtroom has been waiting for. After hearing testimony, victim impact statements, and argument from both sides, the judge is about to reveal the sentence. And in cases involving a fatal DUI, every word matters because the sentence reflects not only punishment, but how the court weighs accountability, remorse, and the devastating consequences of one decision. Before we hear the numbers, what do you think would be a fair sentence in a case like this?
And I have taken into consideration the mitigation that has been presented. And based on what has been presented to the court, I find the following appropriate in the nature of sentencing on the offense of reckless driving, reckless homicide.
Notice how the judge starts by addressing the reckless homicide charge first. A 10-year sentence is significant on its own, but this isn't the end of the sentencing breakdown. In criminal court, multiple convictions often mean multiple sentences, and the real question becomes whether those sentences will stack together or run at the same time. That's a detail that can completely change the outcome.
Which is 2023 GS 103895. You're sentenced to the State Department of Corrections for a period of 10 years and $5,000 provided upon the service of 10 years. Yeah. On both counts of felony DUI, great bodily injury, you're sentenced to the State Department of Corrections for a period of 15 years.
And there it is, the most serious penalty announced so far, 25 years for felony DUI with death. You can feel the weight of that moment in the courtroom. For the victims' families, this may feel like a measure of justice. For the defendant, it's a life-changing reality. Cases like this often spark intense debate. Should sentencing focus more on punishment, deterrence, rehabilitation, or some combination of all three?
And $5,100 provided upon the service of 15 years. And on the offense of felony DUI with death, you're sentenced to the State Department of Corrections for a period of 25 years and $10,100 provided upon the service of 25 years. These sentences are concurrent with one another. You'll get credit pursuant to 241340 if that becomes applicable. And I think it is appropriate, and I queried Mr. Finch for a particular reason. It was not random. Our state legislature, in their infinite...
Here's a legal detail that's easy to miss but incredibly important. The judge says the sentences are concurrent. That means they're served at the same time rather than one after another. So while several lengthy sentences were imposed, the practical sentence is largely driven by the longest term. This single word, concurrent, can mean the difference between decades and a lifetime behind bars.
Wisdom amended 241340 to allow for time spent on monitored house arrest, and it was contemplated that a person get credit when they are basically in jail at home. And based on how Ms. Komorowski's home detention was structured, she was in jail, but for being at home. And I think it is appropriate that
Now the judge shifts into a technical but critical discussion about credit for time served. He's explaining why time spent under strict monitored house arrest may count toward the sentence. The reasoning is that if the restrictions were severe enough, the defendant was effectively serving a form of custody at home. It's a reminder that sentencing isn't just about the years announced in court. It's also about how those years are calculated.
she received credit for any time served on monitored house arrest or home detention. Those terms in my mind are interchangeable. From the period of 3/1/2024 through the present, and we'll calculate that and place it on her sentencing sheets. Again, these sentences are concurrent. I've ordered the ATU if it is available to her, and she will get credit for any time served pursuant to 241340. Thank you all for your time and your attention.
With the sentence delivered, the courtroom enters that strange moment where the legal battle is effectively over, but the emotional impact is just beginning. Families process the outcome, attorneys consider next steps, and the defendant faces a new reality. Whether viewers agree with the sentence or not, one thing is undeniable. This case highlights how a single decision can leave consequences that last for years, even decades.
Today, have a good afternoon. And I believe the clearance of the courtroom to security, so I would ask that everyone stay in place and allow Major Burnstead and those who are assisting him. Ma'am, you may want to leave any valuables you have with your family. Leave that to them, so I would ask that everyone stay seated until security does what they need to do in terms of clearing the courtroom. And if Mr. Curry and his client are present, as soon as y'all get through doing that, if y'all could bring him in so we can take care of his matter as well. And is Mr. Do you know where Mr. Cooper and I'm trying to think who's on the other side of that case? Can you help me out?
Is it Mr. Frazier?
Yeah, are they here?
I don't know if they're here. I can send a message.
Could you find out for me? That would be very good.
Yes, Your Honor.
I appreciate it.